us and animals?
No.
Yes.
Yes. We have a brain and we have a mind, but they only have a brain, no mind.
All right. Yeah. Because basically, animals, there are animals that are stronger than us, prettier than us, faster than us. They can fly, we cannot. But what makes us in control, the reason why we're sitting here instead of some sort of another type of animal, is because we have a brain and we use it. We have large capacity and we use it. And one of the first things that we used it for is what I'm doing now. We communicate. We talk to each other. We can talk, we use our brain to pass information and receive information. The minute we stop talking to each other and start hitting each other, we are behaving like animals. Yeah, we're supposed to be here. The minute we start hitting each other, we're behaving at this level, like animals. But sometimes, when we're excited, we're not paying attention, we do resort to violence. I've noticed this lately, in the school particularly, and at specific times, at sports time, when they're playing sports in the playground. It's double sad because they're doing it while they're doing sports. Because if this is the level of animals, let's say dogs, with only way of discussing things among themselves by biting each other and hitting each other, okay? We're humans. And then sportsman is even a higher rank. Because not only you are a normal human, but you are a human who is doing exercise and who is working. That's what sports is about. Sportsmanship is about playing with others, learning how to communicate with each other. You cannot allow your instinct, just because someone took the ball from you or pushed you while you're playing sports. You did that. Go play chess. If you don't want someone to be physical with you, don't go play football or basketball. Play volleyball. There's hardly any human contact with them. But if you're going to play sports like football or basketball, do expect to be pushed, do expect to. It's normal. If you cannot handle that, so please watch out. Avoid problems. If something you cannot handle, don't do it. If you can, then think a little bit before you react, think for a few seconds so that you do not react and behave animalistically. The other issue which is extremely, in my time it didn't exist, and I want to warn you, because you all are, nowadays, you talk to each other by messages. You do talk to each other normally when you see each other. But a lot of time, when you're away from each other, you talk to each other by messages. Do you know how dangerous that is? There are two types of dangers. One, sometimes when if you go into the net and you're with a group, first of all, you don't know who you're talking to in many cases. And so you could be thinking that you're talking to a nice young friend or to-be friend, and it could be some weirdo trying to be friendly. You're writing things, you're writing documents that can be pulled and seen by anyone. When you send me a message, even in 10 years' time, before I dig it out, we can dig it out. So the things you write, you cannot display in the future. Now what if I send him a message? Go and hit Ahmed. And he goes and hits Ahmed, and Ahmed ends up in prison, in hospital, or God forbid dies. You know what happened? I will go to prison even before the person will do it, because I am an accomplice. I am the person who instigated the whole incident. And I cannot deny it because I have written it. You know you don't mean it. You know it's a joke. Your friend might know it's a joke. But anybody who reads that, as far as they're concerned, this is truth. This is fact. You're writing it down. When you're writing swear words, that's cute. If nobody can accept that you are a nice, decent person when they read a message that you're writing. You cannot deny it. You cannot say, I was joking. You've written it down, this is you. This is how society would observe you. If your parents read it, they're not going to believe for a second that you didn't mean it. If I read it, they know nothing on earth is going to convince me that's not who you are. If you don't mean it, if that's not who you are, do not write it. And by deleting it, it's not going to be deleted. There's always a record of it somewhere. The other issue that's really serious, and every year we talk about it, is bullying. Now bullying, and we all know what bullying is. Bullying could be, give me this bottle of water, I'm going to take it from you. It could be, go buy me this. It could be, I'm going to take your food. It could be pushing someone around. It could be you're ugly. It could be, look at the way you dress your hair and make a joke of somebody. It could be, oh, don't talk to her, let's ignore her or ignore him. If you talk to them, you cannot be my friend. And you know, this is all bullying. Bullies are mentally sick people. That's a fact. Because this is a person who can only survive by hurting others, be it physically or emotionally. That's their enjoyment. And they will only do that, and that's where your part comes in. Okay? They can only do that if there's an audience. This is our level of satisfaction. This is a bully. Instead of working on themselves to become like us, they find the easy way out, which is, I'm going to pick a few people from here, make them miserable, so that those who become lower than me, so I become normal. You know, there are people more unhappy than I am. The question is, what is our job now? I'll give you an example. Let's assume one of us here, a colleague, someone you know, is diabetic. And you know that he should not eat sugar. Okay? And you watch him every break, they have Kit Kat with them, and chocolates, and they're stuffing their face with Kit Kats and chocolate and sweets, and ignoring the fact that they're diabetics, and that could kill them. What do you do? One, you could encourage them, bring them more sweets, eat with them, and tell them that's okay. That's one thing you do. Second, you can just ignore them. Do not interfere. Keep with them, they're eating fine, don't say anything about it. Three, you can tell them, don't, this will kill you. You shouldn't. This is dangerous what you're doing. Four, after telling them this is dangerous for you, and they're still eating, and you know they're going to kill themselves, you go and tell their parents, or tell the nurse to talk to them. That's the fourth thing you can do. Now, a decent human being, or somebody who wants to do the right thing, which of those should we do? Encourage them to eat more, ignore, say, this is none of my business, talk to them, or talk to them and tell them to save their lives. By telling their parents, you're not telling on them, you're saving their lives. And you cannot say, I'm not going to tell his parent because he's my friend. How can you be your friend and you're letting them die? Very obvious. Very few people here, anybody with a bit of brain, can see that this is really the right thing to do. You're supposed to tell them to stop doing the wrong thing. And if they don't, you're supposed to tell on them. To tell on them not so that they get punished, to get help, because I repeat, bullies do this because they're sick. And they need to be shown that instead of making other people miserable, look, work at yourself, you become happy, like the rest of us. And that is your job. And you cannot go around pretending it has nothing to do with you. you don't do anything about it, you are as guilty as the bully. You're encouraging that person, and that person eventually, bullies will eventually get hurt. And they continue bullying people, and people who get bullied will end up bullies themselves, because they become sick. Being miserable all the time will affect you, and you become like bullies, you become sick. So you cannot ignore acts of bullying. It's the decent thing to do is to stop them. And if you cannot persuade them, you're supposed to tell on them to save them. Not to get them punished, because that's not what's going to happen to them. When we identify someone who is sick, we try and help them. Is that clear? So please, if you see somebody doing something wrong, talk to them. In most cases, you will find that they didn't really realize that what they're doing is not really hurting others, and they'll stop. But if they don't, then you know for a fact this person is sick. And when you know someone is sick, your job is to report, so that that person will get the right help.